Good morning, honorable judges, teachers, ladies, and fellow oppressed gentlemen. Millions of years ago, at the very dawn of human civilization, the odds were pretty good for a guy like me. The first woman on Earth had one guy to pick from, this dude called Adam. Now, the odds of Adam getting jiggity with Eve were pretty good. Today, those odds are about the same. There are about the same number of girls on this planet as there are guys. So, a guy like me should have a shot, right? If it weren't for a recent phenomenon that has skewed these odds. Let me share with you a personal experience which demonstrates the problem. Just this week, I was sauntering down Ambleside, and I hear a group of girls whispering. Here I'm thinking to myself, I've been working out, looking pretty buffed, my hair coiffed to perfection. It's no wonder I'm catching their eye. But when I go by them, I see that the girls are all huddled over a magazine featuring a picture of Edward Cullen. A wave of distress washes over me. You see now, not only am I competing against 3.5 billion men for the girls' attention, but thanks to the phenomenon of the Twilight novels, I'm having to measure up against all immortal creatures, including vampires. In the words of these blood-sucking leeches, this really sucks. What's a guy to do? Let's look at a few of the hurdles that I have to overcome. Now, my dentist tells me I've got pretty good teeth. I brush them the requisite twice a day, have never had a cavity, and haven't ever had to wear braces. But, no matter how close to perfection these bicuspids may be, they are lacking one critical thing. Fangs. The slight point of my incisors just doesn't measure up to Mr. Cullen. And they say size doesn't matter. Well, I'm here to tell you that it most certainly does. At least when you're referring to these pearly whites. I find it very ironic how girls spend countless hours of money on tanning salons, bronzing their skin to a golden perfection, and then they become attracted to some pasty white guy whose skin, thanks to the lack of blood flowing through his veins, is tinted to a bluish gray. Now, this begs the question, if he doesn't have any blood flowing, pumping through his veins, how does he, get aroused? Can you imagine how much Viagra he would have to consume during his infant, eternal lifespan? He might even come a close second to Hugh Hefner. And girls, don't think you don't have to worry about getting an STI from Edward, like AIDS. Because in this instance, AIDS is a much more serious virus. Already, I'm dead syndrome. And I can assure you, making out with Edward Cullen would give necking a whole new meaning. But from the hickeys that I've seen on some of you girls, perhaps you have already met Edward Cullen? I may also be at a disadvantage with Edward when it comes to talking with girls. I mean, how are you supposed to compete with a guy who's had 500 years of experience with talking to the opposite sex? I mean, although for those of you who are aware of the Twilight story, you would think with that experience of talking to girls, Edward could have come up with a better opening line when he met the girl of his dreams then. Yes, I would most certainly agree that that is the anaphase stage of mitosis. Perhaps you could have said, where have you been on my multiple lives? Or how about, so I've been thinking of subscribing to the New York Times because I heard it's got good circulation. Or how about, do you know what my favorite type of fast food is? A girl with high blood pressure. So I think with a little work I could come up with some better lines than Edward. And I could compete with him in some other areas as well. I could take you out for dinner and not have your neck as the first course. That would come later. And if you ordered a nice steak, I would duck and run for cover. So when you girls are out there measuring up guys like me, there's one thing I'd like you to keep in mind. In reality, in the real world, under no circumstances are you going to be able to get with a vampire. For one thing, sorry to burst your bubble, but they don't exist. And if in some parallel universe these blood-sucking leeches do exist, my own sister has claimed the exclusive rights to any and all of everything to do with Edward Cullen. So, apparently he's off limits. But I'm happy to report that I'm still available. Thank you.